Well, hi everyone. I've got an interesting video for you today, and this is a great example of a DOT doing everything right, in my opinion, under emergency circumstances. So I want to give them credit here. I want to show you what happened. I think this could be a great case history for other DOTs across the country if they face or when they face a similar set of circumstances. So I'm talking about on the evening of Thursday, October 30th, an empty milk tanker that was traveling southbound on Interstate 15, just south of Blackfoot, Idaho, went off the roadway and struck a bridge column on the Riverton Road overpass. And the column was significantly damaged. In fact, it was nearly taken out from underneath the bridge altogether. The driver of the semi truck was in critical condition and was life flighted to Eastern Idaho Regional Medical Center, and there's been no updates on his condition. So, this is the area that we're talking about, as I mentioned, just south of the town of Blackfoot, Idaho, the southeastern portion of the state. So, the bridge column that was taken out was the northernmost column on this pier just to the inside of the roadway or at the location of the edge of the median, and just massive amount of damage. It looks like just the reinforcing steel is still connected to the pier cap. Column shattered at its base as well. Some more details about the truck driver, who was in critical condition. 46-year-old man from Jerome, Idaho, in a white 2026 Kenworth semi truck. Again, the tanker was empty, the milk tanker, and the DOT immediately closed both the northbound and southbound lanes of I-15 at the location of this Riverton Road overpass. And I think that was a very wise decision. And they got out there the next morning when it was daylight. They performed an inspection, and they got with some contractors on an emergency basis to shore up the bridge deck around each side of this damaged bridge pier. So some of the key players for Idaho DOT were Crash Engineer Manager 2, Zach Johnson, Operations Engineer Graydon Wright, then you have District Engineer Todd Hubbard, and then State Bridge Engineer Mike Johnson. So the contractor was brought in to construct these shoring towers, this cribbing, to support the bridge until emergency repairs can be completed for the actual bridge pier that was damaged. You can see here that this column has already been removed. There's damage to the pier cap as well. They use these concrete interlocking blocks that weigh about 3,000 pounds apiece, and then they have wood cribbing at the top. And again, they got these support towers in place and reopened both lanes of traffic within 28 hours, which I think is phenomenal. So some of the contractors that were involved with this emergency stabilization project were Cannon Builders and Wadsworth Brothers. So I think they undoubtedly had emergency on-call contracts with the Idaho DOT. It's pretty common for DOTs to have these on-call contracts for situations just like this. But again, if you're a DOT and you haven't recently had to deal with a bridge column being taken out on a pier due to a crash like this, I think it would be worthwhile to use this as a case history, a case study into how to successfully deal with these situations. So with that, I want to send a shout out to those of you who've contributed to buy me a coffee. That's one of the better ways to support this channel. I certainly want to thank the channel members who get to preview these videos typically at least a day in advance of them going public. And I also want to thank those of you who've contributed to Super Thanks. So I've got a lot more interesting videos coming up, everyone, so please stay tuned.